Did Hunter Henry actually make the catch in the third quarter that would have given the Patriots the lead? I think the better question might be, did it really matter to begin with? Stay tuned. You are about to be locked in to this post-Thanksgiving episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots daily part of your New England Patriots coverage and also your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So smash that subscribe button and download, subscribe to, and follow Locked On Patriots wherever you get your podcasts. Folks, today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, more odds, and more lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here on this Black Friday episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast. Sincerely hope each and every one of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and thank you for spending part of your Thanksgiving weekend here on Locked On Patriots. And unfortunately, folks, we don't have a Victory Friday here for you, but that does not stop us from the wisdom, the counsel that we all need when it comes to breaking things down here on Locked On Patriots. The legendary Thomas Murphy of E2Gsports.com joins me here today. Thank you for coming to me in friendship on this post-Thanksgiving episode, Don Murph.
Oh, happy to be here, man. This is better than a second turkey sandwich.
Better than a second turkey sandwich. Notice you didn't say the first one, folks.
No,
the first one is always the best. Just it's different. Something about it. Really, really great stuff.
That first Thanksgiving turkey sandwich is just, it's just killer. It is. And I should have saved it for the second half of yesterday's game.
I think a lot of us all needed it at that point. Obviously, folks, we are talking about the New England Patriots 33-26 loss to the Minnesota Vikings on Thanksgiving night at US Bank Stadium. Mac Jones, a career high 382 passing yards, but all for naught in the long run. Looked solid through three quarters. The fourth quarter, not so much. We'll get into that in just a moment. Bigger story, I think, the defense yielding 367 total yards to the Minnesota Vikings, 3 touchdowns, special team snafus. Patriots really left an awful lot out there on the field in Minnesota. And before we get into the X's and O's and the ins and outs in this, Murph, we're going to talk about the white elephant in the room right now, and that is Hunter Henry trying to reach for the end zone. Bottom line, my friend, this is a situation where we're looking at what would have been Hunter's second touchdown reception in 2 possessions. The Patriots are starting to build momentum. This would have given them a 30-23 lead. That's a 7-point swing as opposed to a 3-point, which they had to settle for a 24-yard field goal from Nick Folk in order to take a 26-23 lead. But these are points that are left on the board. And I know a lot of the social media sleuths out there, both locally and nationally, are going to continue to argue over the next few days whether the catch was indeed made. Henry is pretty convinced that he did his job. We talked to Hunter after the game last night. He was very much emphatic about the fact that he had the 2 hands under. He believed he secured the ball. But the pool report that came out after the game, obviously Walt Anderson, Senior Vice President of officiating for the NFL, speaking to Mike Reese, the pool reporter for last night. And Mike asked him the tough questions. He asked him the very pointed question. What was it about this call? And the pool report seems to indicate, or according to what Anderson had to say, it was going to the ground. He even mentioned the words surviving the ground, which I thought should be from the record. But this was part of the pool report, and Mike always does his job very thoroughly, and he even asked him a follow-up question on it. Anderson doubled down and basically allowed him to say this. Murph, when you look at this move, usually a catch constitutes 3 things. It usually both hands securing the ball. a body
Check.
part at that point, or at least 2 feet being down.
Yeah.
And at that point, when it has to be a football move in order to
Yep.
constitute the catch. Now, extending the ball for some reason did not meet the officials' criteria.
My ass.
My eye test, yeah, thank you. My eye test looked at it. I don't know. Am I way off base here? I think he checked all
it
3
was a
boxes.
catch. You can't even go back to the rule that was stricken and changed 3 years ago now. I think it's been 3 years since they changed this rule, Walt. Okay? Maybe read a memo. He had control of the ball throughout the entire play. His hand was underneath the ball. The ball never touched the turf, where his hand was not sandwiched, turkey sandwiched, between the pigskin. All right. I will go to my grave believing this. How is it that weeks ago against Dallas, Travis Kelce, that freaking fumble butt, catch that they gave him a touchdown on is a touchdown, and this is not. Okay, I'm tired of this. It's a coin flip every single time. Get these guys into a room, show them what a catch is and what isn't. It'll take you a half an hour for these overpriced babysitters that are sitting out there trying to do this job. It was a catch. It was a touchdown. There is nothing that Walt Anderson or anybody else can say that will convince me otherwise.
Yeah, and I'm in complete agreement with you. And look, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it wasn't what cost them the game," and ultimately, logistically, and maybe technically, they're right. But we all know that motivation. We all know that momentum swings like this absolutely counts in a game, especially a nationally televised game where you're starting to play better on offense. You're starting to show more aggression. You're showing a little bit more. Yeah, to me, this was a swing moment in this game.
It really was, and I'm tired of people saying that it's not important. It is important for that defense of the Minnesota Vikings to go into that locker room saying that we stopped them. We held them to 3. We made them settle instead of them getting 7 there. That was it. That was pivotal. Okay, those 4 points were pivotal, and you can put. I'm sorry, I'm not going to sound like the boo-hoo individual, but you can put 11 points, an 11-point swing on this game on 2 terrible, terrible calls by the officiating crew. How they missed that holding call on the kick return, and this. All right, there were others during the game. People miss holding calls. All right, I sit there and tweet holding. I could do it on every single play. All right, people. Occasionally, you take your eyes off and you don't see the face mask. You just didn't see it. All right, this play, you were right there. Okay, you had 10 minutes to look at it if you wanted it, and you just came back and said, "Nah, nope." That's not a catch. It's not a touchdown. It was a pivotal moment in this game. It swung momentum, and we saw what happened afterwards.
Absolutely. And based on the rule and based on Anderson's explanation and what a lot of people have been looking at, myself included, because we've replayed this, I know you have, I have several times. It seems to be the consensus now that the surviving of the ground type bombshell that he dropped in his post-game comments was really more of a smoke and mirrors. I don't necessarily know if Walt knew that terminology was no longer in the rule.
No, it's not there. It's not there. I got the white out myself and took it out.
Yeah. See, there you go, folks, right there on the money. But in any case, I think now the narrative is starting to switch about whether or not Hunter's engaging the ball or extending the ball was in fact a football move. By definition, am I off base here? But extending the ball is a football move.
If it's not a football move, then we're eliminating a third of the touchdowns that happen. Okay, we're eliminating 40% of first down yardage or 100% of extra yardage because everybody extends the ball. It's a football move. It is. Whether you like it, he likes it, nobody likes it. It's a football move. All right. If it wasn't, then those extra yards wouldn't be tacked on, and you wouldn't give it to guys trying to convert on 3rd and 1. Okay, you wouldn't consider it a football move if a quarterback is diving over the goal line and breaks the plane.
Mm.
Okay, he extended. That's a football move. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, apparently I mean, obviously the rule is going to stand. There's no question
Yeah,
about that. But at the same time, the New England Patriots had to grin and bear it,
yeah.
just like we all did here in Patriots Nation. And
Yep,
moving forward, it was a seminal moment for the New England
it
Patriots
was.
because a lot of failed conversions, a lot of missed opportunities, a
Yep.
lot of egregious penalties, and
Oh
just difficult
God.
situations for them to play
Right.
through really contributed to a
It's
downfall in this game.
it's really aggravating for a team to be this close and to do what they did to step on themselves once again and still lose a game because of egregious officiating.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
No
right,
question about
we
it.
didn't need the help. We were doing
Yeah,
enough to this. They were doing it enough to themselves.
absolutely. And, the sting of this all, Murph, is that if I were to tell you before the game that Mac Jones is going to complete 72% of his passes
Right.
against this Vikings defense, you're automatically going to assume that the Patriots are in the driver's seat. The way the
Mm-hmm.
defense has played and the way the special teams has stepped up in the last couple of games, you're looking at this and saying, okay, well, now this is the complete game effort we've been waiting for. Oh, not so fast, folks. It certainly was not. The defense last night, not looking at their best without any question. There are some that needs to be placed on their shoulders. One big thing in particular that I think the Patriots defense might get a little slack on, and that's defending an all-world wide
Oh
receiver.
God,
And we're going to
he's
talk
going to
about
get
him.
his.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him in just a moment and some of the special team snafus that Murph and I alluded to just a moment ago when this post game monster Thanksgiving anger episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues. But
Welcome
first,
to happy hour.
and you know what, Murph? It's always a good time and happy hour to mention our good friends over at Prize
Yeah,
Picks. And Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. And let me give you a little example as to how these guys work. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. That's a pretty good return on
yeah,
investment, Murph. I'll be pretty satisfied with that. And the best part is that you don't need to compete against other people. You're not competing against me or Murph. It's just you versus the projections available. And PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch. That includes the NFL, the NBA, NHL, college football, men's and women's college basketball, World Cup, soccer going on right now, and so much more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. The withdrawals are safe, they're fast, and it's currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. That's right, folks. It is that easy to play with Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. If you're a first-time user, you can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code Locked On. So if you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. Imagine that. Unbelievable. If you deposit $50, they'll give you $50. So don't forget to enter the promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks.com. Patriots fans, we are here on this post-game, post-Thanksgiving, anger-induced episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast. It is Locked On Murph Friday because Patriots had the Thursday night game, and we do not break down games here on Locked On Patriots without the green wisdom and counsel of my good friend Thomas Murphy of E2Gsports.com. Murph, the Patriots defense had been playing on another level the last couple of weeks,
yeah.
only yielding 6 points total. Um, we all know about what they did to the New York Jets on Sunday. I mean,
Right.
holding them to 2 yards in the second half, basically putting the career of Zach Wilson completely in the freezer at this point. So
Oops.
this had to be a situation where Patriots fans were looking at this matchup and saying, if the Pats are going to win this, it's going to be on the strength of their defense. Anyone
Yep.
who listened to yesterday's pregame crossover episode with myself and Luke Braun of the Vikings, or I should say Locked On Vikings, knows that I bought into it hook, line, and sinker. I believe Matthew Judon was going to be the X
Yep.
factor in this game. But the one thing that surprised me about the Patriots' defensive effort, Murph, is that with Vikings left tackle Christian Darrisaw on the shelf, it opened the opportunity for the Patriots pass rush to develop a scheme and an opportunity to get after Kirk Cousins and make him uncomfortable. Coming
Yep.
off of a 7-sack performance against the Cowboys, you had to think that was ripe for the pickings. But credit Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings offensive brain trust. They protected Cousins, shorter drops, quicker throws. Backup definitely got a chance to play into his game a little bit more than he did last Sunday. But the Patriots just did not have an
Didn't
answer
get
at this
home.
point yesterday. Did not get home. 367 total yards of offense was allowed against the Patriots
Yep.
defense. When you look at this game, what were the defensive keys to such a dismal performance on Thursday night?
Okay. You mentioned they didn't get home. And that there were shorter drops and getting the ball out much quicker. Now, that's true. Everything that was downfield, it was a 10-step drop
Hmm.
every time. Every time, that's what they did to protect him. They had him get into a 10-step drop anytime they wanted to drive the ball downfield, and there just wasn't enough time to get home. They were a millisecond late on
Hmm.
every single pressure, just a millisecond late. And I think a lot of it has to do with just playing on Sunday, with going all balls out. Some of the it is a short turnaround
It is.
to uh, to have your body reboot and be able to put up that kind of effort again. And I'm expecting a lot better next time out against Buffalo. But that and the situational football on Friday on the defensive side was just abysmal, as I like to say, Pepto abysmal.
Hmm.
8 of 15 on third down. 8 of 15 they converted on third down, and there's your game right there.
Hmm.
That, and as you said, the stupid plays that happened during. My God, what is strong thinking?
No.
All right, what are you thinking? There is no need to go for a block there, none whatsoever. You're getting the ball back with decent freaking field position. You have the best returner in football sitting back there ready to make a play. We'll get to him in a second. We'll get to Jones in a second. I don't know what he was doing at the end of the game, why he was fielding that punt at the 1 yard line and trying to make a second hero play, but it happened. But no, that's it. Stupid situational football. The fact that they did not get this team off the field on third down. Okay,
Yeah, that.
that's why it's a weekly own third
Mhm.
down on both sides of the ball, and the Patriots did not do that on the offensive side of the ball, which we'll get into in just a second, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally in agreement on the defensive side of the ball. Could not have said it better myself. And I'm glad that you mentioned Pierre Strong running into the kicker. That is going to be an interesting barn burner of a meeting. The first time that the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots Brain Trust gets in with the special teams planning unit. A few. There were a few of those eye-opening moments. First of all,
Yep.
Strange running into the kicker, allowing a 97-yard kickoff return. That is not something Bill Belichick and the Patriots pride themselves on. That was busted coverage. Well, I shouldn't say busted
It's
coverage,
the
but it
little
was,
things, man.
yeah,
It's the little
broken
things that
tackles,
you
things of
just
that
aren't good
nature.
enough.
Yeah,
And
and
and I don't know. I'll let you keep going. Sorry.
oh no. That's Matthew Slater mentioned it after the game. I mean, that's an inexcusable
No,
allowance
it
for the New
is.
England Patriots, and they needed to be better, and
What
they
I said
weren't,
last week,
unfortunately.
that they're not playing Patriots football. It's
Hmm.
Patriots football. This is
Hmm.
it. It's Patriots
Absolutely,
football.
without any question, no question about it. So, special team snafus. Obviously, there's a quick 7 right there that the
Yep.
Patriots didn't need to put on the board. A swing of 4 points as 3 points as opposed to what should have been 7 because of
Yep.
the Hunter Henry situation, and then you look at it and you just it's one of those things where you just really are disheartened by everything that you see. The Strange running into the kicker obviously
Yep.
led to the game-winning touchdown, which really should have never happened. When you look at the type of call that was made there. Before we take our leave of the defense, though, Murph, I do want to give them a little bit of slack when it comes to defending someone of Justin Jefferson's prowess. I mean,
Mm,
you know, he won his battles in man coverage. He was even better in zone, splitting the double team on more than one occasion.
yep.
The Patriots had no answer for
No.
Jefferson. And sometimes you have to tip your cap to a guy that is just that good and that on in the
Yeah.
moment. But the one thing that worries me is that the Patriots are going to see quite a few of these types of receivers within the home stretch. I mean, they're going to be facing Stephon Diggs coming up this Thursday night with the Buffalo Bills. You got Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals coming up.
Yeah.
You've got obviously Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins and the season closer. A lot of players in the midterm that I'm not, obviously Devontae Adams is going to be a
Yeah.
problem with the Raiders. You got Hopkins that's going to be a problem with the Cardinals. This does not get any easier for the
Yeah.
Patriots.
And don't forget, we got Miami coming up here too.
Absolutely, yeah, with Tyreek Hill and the closer. So when you look at this game, and I'm not even mentioning Jalen Waddle, probably Dolphins that are hate listening to this right now are screaming at me for not mentioning Waddle. He deserves to be in that conversation as well. This is a concern for me for the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
They got to shore this up. They do have to put in the work this quickly in this week to be able to get this taken care of, or at least find some sort of a solution to be able to slow these guys down. If they can't, this team's not making the playoffs.
No, they're not. If they can't fix this one thing, like I said, it goes back to the third down conversions. Look who was making those third down conversions every single time. There are players like Jefferson that are transcendent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're talking about a man who is erasing records that Randy Moss set.
Mm.
All right, every week he's just rewriting them. Now, granted, it's a much different game now than it was when Randy played.
Right.
But still, to be put in that sentence is about as impressive as you can get.
Right.
Bill is famous for being able to take away what you do best every single week, and that's why they've won over the years. Talents like Justin Jefferson aren't taken away.
Right.
They're going to get his. Okay, they're going to get theirs. It's the other guys. It's the tight end that you need to take away. It's the Adam Thielen touchdown that you have to take away, which should have never happened. Thank you very much, Mr. Strong. But this game should have been not just a Patriots victory. It should have been a defining victory on the season. To this point, a team that had already gone into Buffalo, beaten Buffalo, you'd come out there and for the most part had outplayed them, even though that you ignored my game plan. We should have ran the ball. I mean, I'm sorry, we should have ran the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
All right. It just did not happen. And as great as Ramondre looked catching the ball, he should have had more chances running the ball. I understand that injuries crept in there, but there needed to be more running plays. They needed to convert those third downs and keep Jefferson from having an opportunity to do the things that Jefferson does so well.
Absolutely.
Better than anybody in the league. There's no doubt. He is the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, and it's going to stay that way for a long time.
Yeah, without question.
And the Patriots could have had him. All they had to do was move up 2 spots. Just 2 spots, Bill. That's all I ask. What would that cost you? A 4th-round pick? 2 spots.
I wrote about that on Wednesday. Yep. I wrote about that on Wednesday with the New England Patriots and how that scenario all played out. And, I tried to, make the, the argument that the Patriots, still ended up with a pretty good one in Kyle Duggar. And I stand by that without any question. But, to think about the what ifs if Justin Jefferson.
And there's another thing. Kyle Duggar had the worst game that I've seen him ever have.
Yeah.
Okay, you change your cleats at halftime, do something. He was slipping and sliding all over the place. Duggar has issues in coverage, but the issues that he had yesterday were monumental. Him and who else had it? Who else had that terrible game? Damn it. It'll come to me as soon as we're off air.
Well, I don't want to steal Murph's thunder, so I'm going to let him stew on that. And if it does, he's going to let us know. But, folks, we are almost ready to wrap things up here on this post-game non-victory Friday episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast. But we have not talked yet about the offense and Mac Jones' growth in this game. Was it enough to make Patriots fans feel confident that good old Mac is back? Well, we're going to talk to Murph in that about that in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues. Sorry, folks. But first, Murph, let's do a little football analogy for you, a little sports analogy here on this big-time sports weekend. When it comes to burglars, Your home is like the end zone, and you need the absolute strongest defense that you can muster. That's why I use and trust SimpliSafe Home Security. All SimpliSafe, your safety is the only thing that matters, and it's cutting edge technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back, so you always know when your home is safe. SimpliSafe's agents call you the moment a threat is detected and dispatch police or first responders in an emergency, even if you're not home or if you can't be reached. The advanced sensors they have for every room, window, and door, the HD security cameras for inside and outside your home, and just smarter ways to detect motion that only alert you when a threat is real make SimpliSafe the best in the business. And even they have hazard sensors that instantly detect fires, floods, and other threats to your home when you're not home. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplisafe.com/lockedonnfl. Save 20% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan, or get your first month free at simplisafe.com/lockedonnfl to learn more. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Patriots fans, the legendary Thomas Murphy of E2Gsports.com is here today to help me break down the unfortunate Patriots loss on Thanksgiving night to the Minnesota Vikings, 33-26. Murph, the loss drops the Patriots to 6-5. They're back, unfortunately, in last place for the time being in the AFC East.
Yep.
Teetering on that windowsill of the playoff window right now, but a lot of Patriots fans were at least encouraged by the performance that the Patriots offense put out yesterday. Something
Yep.
we haven't said quite a while here on Locked On Patriots. As I said earlier, Mac Jones completed 72% of his passes, 28 of 39, a career high, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good numbers for the second-year quarterback out of Alabama. And Patriots fans have been waiting for Mac to have this type of game. Took full advantage of a better performance from his offensive line, kept him clean in the pocket for the most part. Mac looked more decisive, he looked more comfortable, and he looked more aggressive. But the fourth quarter woes continue for
Right.
this team, and I think it overshadowed what we could be talking about as maybe one of Mac's best performances as a pro. When you look at this offense, when you look at the performance last night, what stood out to you?
The fact that a switch went off at halftime. All right, I really did not like what Zach had to do. I mean, it was Zach, what Mac had to do in the second half. There were opportunities there that he missed. Once again, changes at the line of scrimmage. Please freaking make a goddamn, please make call a bloody audible. Just do it. You're sitting there staring at it. Go deal with Matt or Bill or whoever later on when they get on your case for calling the audible, because that play was not working. And then the fourth quarter was really non-existent. Most of this damage that he did came in the first three quarters, and I really didn't see the adjustment that the Vikings made that should have done. I said in my keys that Nelson Aguilar is getting. I know he scored a touchdown. People leave the hate mail alone, but he cannot. He cannot take snaps away from the Slim Reaper. He cannot take targets away from Devonta Parker. All right, that ball at the end of the game should have gone to Parker and not to Aguilar. He hasn't done anything all year long that's going to make you think that he's going to go and make that play.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised. I think it was the available man, but at the same time, I do think it was a missed opportunity without any question to be able to utilize your receivers. Someone like you said, maybe a Tyquan Thornton, maybe a Devontae Parker, maybe even a Kendrick Bourne at this point might be someone that could make that catch. Aguilar has had his difficulties. Had a good catch earlier on in the game because the Patriots were, starting to move the ball a little bit better. Maybe that factored in, but to me, when I look at Mac's performance, he did absolutely look better. I give him an awful lot of credit for being more aggressive, for airing the ball out and showing what he did.
I mean, nice to have protection to throw behind, but you've also got to understand that Mac was throwing. And here's my real thing. Before we jump up and elevate Mac to Tom Brady status again, that's the third string. All right, the Vikings were running their third string defensive backs out there. There were kids that were pulled off the line of the local grocery store. to be back there and to stop this passing attack. They couldn't do it until the fourth quarter for whatever reason, but it happened. And no, they weren't out there against the A squad.
Yeah. And that's exactly when you mentioned the fourth quarter. That to me is where this stands out, because as the protection begins to break down, as
Yeah.
the decision making starts to get a little bit more shaky, that's when
Yep.
you're seeing the offense sputter. The Patriots 3-and-out on their first two fourth quarter drives.
Right.
And then just when they're starting to build momentum, Trent Brown, I love Trent. I
Yep.
do. Why was he on a cut block there? I
Yeah.
mean,
I
really
mean,
missed
come
that terribly.
on.
That's a three-step drop, folks.
Right.
I don't know why that scenario even played out, but
What page
that,
was he on there?
yeah, that led to a bad sack of Mack. It put him in a fourth
Yep.
and 15. Obviously, they can't convert the fourth and 15 at that point. But
Right.
really, I think the bigger problem is futility in the red zone.
Yep. Thank
Minnesota
you.
is not the best red zone defending team, Murph. And I think in a lot of ways, we all expected a little bit more out of the Patriots in
Mm-hmm.
the red zone because of Minnesota's woes throughout the season. But when they get inside the 20, the Patriots failed to put any points on the board in the red zone when it
That's
came to
it.
touchdown. Well, I shouldn't say that when it came to touchdowns on 3 visits to the Vikings red zone. 3 of 10 conversion rate on third down. That's not going to cut it either.
No, it's just not. It's just like it goes back to what we were talking about before in situational football. You've got, and we've been pounding this for 3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
The red zone inefficiency, and you can blame it on terrible play calling from Manny. You can blame it on poor decisions by Mac throwing interceptions in the end zone. Again, you could not turn threes into sixes and sevens, and
Right.
and that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Okay, you can't live this way. You really can't. Not in this league. Not with this team. This team is not that good that they can let opportunities for points just okay, we'll get them next time, because you're not getting them next time, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And that really, I think, is where the difference in the teams that the Patriots fans have been watching for the last 2 decades, as opposed to the teams that they've been watching for the last 2 years, really differ. And that it causes a lot of zappy mania. And that's exactly what you saw earlier on in this season when the
Yeah.
offense was high flying and people were getting excited about this team again because they were finding the end zone. It's situations like this that kind of bring you back down to earth. And I don't think it was, a problem with Mac being able to move the football, but the decision making, the play calling, and the protection that they need all has to be on the same page. And the Patriots have yet to put that together. Murph, they have to do it pretty quickly with the Buffalo
Yeah.
Bills coming to town next Thursday. And folks, we will continue to break down the Vikings game, all of the Patriots' injury concerns right now, including those to Jacoby Myers, and most importantly to Damian Harris, who apparently was on crutches in the Patriots locker room last night. Not good stuff for Damian, but we'll continue to bring that all to you here and once again preview the Buffalo Bills next week here at Gillette. In the meantime, please, thank you so much for taking time out of your Thanksgiving weekend to join us here on Locked On Patriots. And of course, a big thanks to the Don of Locked On Patriots for coming and holding court here in the post-game anger-induced episode. Murph, you always show temperance, but you always show spot-on analysis, and I
Thank
thank
you.
you from the bottom of my heart for that. Before I let you go, my friend, please let everyone know where they can reach you, where they can interact with you, and what you have coming in the week ahead as the Patriots turn the page to the Buffalo Bills.
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for lying to everybody on Monday when I said that I was going to take some time off. I went and I wrote 3 articles. You can go check them out at e2gsports.com. Of course, this weekend, tune into E2G Sports YouTube channel. We'll be doing a pregame show with Buddy, our founder and president. I'll be doing that live on location in Rhode Island somewhere. I'm not quite sure where it is. I'm sorry, Buddy. I should have put that down there. And other than that, follow me at tmurph207 on the Bird app, as we're stealing from Mark Schofield, the great Mark Schofield. And by the way, Mark will be coming up on the next episode of One Patriots Place on Tuesday. Don't miss that.
Absolutely, folks. Anytime you can get the host emeritus here on Locked On Patriots, along
Yep.
with our 3 Familia members here on Locked On Patriots that join us each and every week, you know it's gold. So check that out on E2G Sports, One Patriots Place, my second favorite Patriots listen out there in the Patriots Twitterverse and universe. But what can I say? I always appreciate you stopping by. And folks, for those of you wondering, you'll still get the golden melodious tones of Murph and the Magic Tones here on Monday, because Mondays were made for Murph on Locked On Patriots, and we'll still be able to bring you everything we need here. Murph likes that reference, I can tell. Folks,
Yeah.
drop a line in the comments section if you know where that movie is from. I know most
Yep.
of you do, but definitely I'd be interested to hear who is a fan of that classic. But bottom line, my friend, I thank you for all of your insight. And once again, folks, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to make Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Folks, if you made us your first listen, please make your second listen our good friends over at Locked On Sports Today. All of the news, all of the analysis, all of the big takes you need, all on Locked On Sports Today. So smash that subscribe button, download, subscribe to, and follow wherever you get your podcasts, available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and so many other platforms. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Locked On Patriots as well. On behalf of the legendary Thomas Murphy, I'm Mike Debate. Continue to stay safe, stay well, enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend, folks, and a very happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
More Jack Jones, less Miles Bryant.